Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It's Wednesday afternoon. That means it's Crime Stoppers, and we finally have Jared Minary from the Lincoln Police Department back in the studio. It's been at least a month, I think, since we've had you in. You had some training. I've had some scheduling conflicts, and we just couldn't get together.
Yeah. It wasn't like I went on a vacation, or you didn't either, it sounds like. So
nothing
exciting.
Nope. Nope, just work.
Just work. Lots of work. It's been a little crazy. So
yeah, and all the crime stopped while you were gone. But now that you're back,
I would like to say that, but I don't think that's the case.
Sadly, no. So again, if you're a first-time watcher, again we just kind of dive into a couple of crimes that Lincoln Police needs some tips on. Again, part of the Crime Stoppers program. Again, and if crimes reach our desk here, that means you guys have kind of run out of leads.
Exactly. Yep. This is something that the officers would take the call. They work the whole case, and really, even sometimes it's like we take pictures and we hand them to other officers and say, "Hey, happen to know this guy?" Everybody says no. We got nowhere else to go. It's basically, I'm done with this case. This is a last-ditch effort. We're just looking for anybody that can give us any information on these cases.
And so we're going to show you some pictures, show you some video, and again, if you know anything, and we'll show you here in a second too, but again, reach out to Lincoln Police. You can reach out to basically any law enforcement agency and say, hey,
of course,
I know something. But part of the Crime Stoppers program is that there are some rewards attached to these cases, and to be eligible for the reward, you have to go through the Crime Stoppers program.
Exactly, and the whole point of Crime Stoppers is to keep you anonymous. So if you are a little afraid to give it for some reason, that you're worried about somebody coming back at you retaliation or whatever it is, the nice thing about Crime Stoppers is that the whole point of it is the an anonymity clause in it, that basically they will do everything in their power to make sure that you are not discovered on who you are, but that information will get to the police department. It's going through a separate entity, so you're not actually calling the police department when you call Crime Stoppers, and so I think that gives some people peace of mind to know that it's not, I'm just not reporting it to the cops, and therefore I'm helping the cops out. It's just, I can stay anonymous because I'm going through this organization that will then hand all of my information over to the police.
All right, so 2 cases today. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's just do the larceny.
The larceny? All right, so we have this gentleman here who we got a good video of. It's a short video. It's only like 7 seconds long. But we'll punch it up here. And can you kind of walk us through what we're seeing here in this video?
So basically this guy shows up at the De Leon's over at 12th and South Street. This is on March 18th. And he kind of hangs out. They have some of those, I don't know, the gambling type of games. I don't know what they actually call like a slot machine. Yeah. So basically he's playing those for just a little bit, and then once the coast is clear, he just sneaks around the register like this, grabs what is a bank bag from behind the register, and obviously runs out. Not too sure how he knew that bag was there, so that's part of the investigation. But he did get away with quite a bit of cash, so obviously we're looking for information on who he could be. As you can see here, he's wearing jeans, a black jacket, and a hood that's covering his head, and a mask over his face. So obviously he's trying to conceal himself pretty significantly from the moment he walks in. So I don't think this was one of those crimes of opportunity where he's just happens to be in the right place, sees it, and takes it. Seems like he had a little bit of pre-planning here.
Yeah, I said it was fishy.
Fishy is the word.
Where that bank bag was.
Yeah, but De Leon's doesn't work in fish, so maybe it's kind of burrito-y.
It could be something like that.
Maybe I can't think of a good joke within that.
Something like that. But yeah, so here's a picture of him. This is while he's sitting at the whatever machine it was.
Yes.
But again, you can see the ripped jeans there, black sweatshirt, and can we tell, is that a mask or is that like one of those gaiters?
Not for sure. I think it might be a mask, but I can't say absolutely that's what it is. Obviously, with those jeans, I mean, let's be honest, people will wear the same pair of jeans quite often, so maybe you've seen someone's wearing something like that. I mean, they're torn. It looks like it could be kind of a specific way that they're torn. I don't know if it's purchased that way or it's been well worn that way, but maybe somebody will recognize something about this.
With ripped jeans.
Air conditioning.
I suppose. I suppose, but this happened about a month ago in March. Mid-March.
Yep, just the end of March.
It was still kind of chilly outside.
Yeah. Okay, so he didn't want the air conditioning, but it's more fashionable then.
More fashionable. All right, so again, if you know anything about this individual and this crime, again, we mentioned it, Jared, but what is going to be the best way for folks to get a hold of you?
Sure. There's a couple ways. Obviously, you can call the police department. That's the non-emergency dispatch line, which is 402-441-6000. And there you can speak with the officer involved in this. You can leave a message if they're on a different shift than when you're calling. Or you can just talk to the dispatcher and they can get that information to the police. Again, that is not an anonymity type of situation. That's just like, you want to help us out. And a lot of people do that, so we always put that out there. The other way you can do it, you of course can call Crime Stoppers, and that's where you get the anonymity and the potential for reward if you have good information. You can call at 402-475-3600. You will talk to one of our Crime Stoppers call takers in a call taker center, and they will basically kind of walk you through filling out a form. You can also fill out pretty much the same form if you go on LincolnCrimeStoppers.com, where you can see all the cases we're talking about today and all the other ones that are happening currently. Once you get on that form there, you can fill it all out. That'll go in so that we can get your tip to the officer. And of course, the best way, in my opinion, is to download that P3 app. You can just search for P as in Paul 3, and it will come up, and download that. Basically, you're going to say, I'm going to report to Lincoln-Lancaster County Crime Stoppers. You give your information there. The cool thing about that app is it allows you to have a two-way communication sometimes, and that's still, again, totally anonymous. So it gets all washed through our system so that basically I can respond, or somebody can, not necessarily me, I'm not the one doing it, but somebody in our unit can respond and say, hey, we got your information, but we have a few further questions. Maybe you can help us out with that. Mm-hmm. And you can actually have a good conversation and still know that you're staying anonymous.
Because part of, when it comes to the rewards, it's not necessarily the first information, it's the best information that you guys get.
Absolutely.
To solve a case.
So you want to be first.
First is always best.
Because if you're going to get a reward, it's going to go to the first person that gives information. But then if you don't give good information on the first one, but just maybe give us enough that you're the first one that's usable, you might get a reward for that. But if you have better information and somebody else calls in later and gives that information, they may get extra reward for that you didn't get.
Because you guys there's actually a Crime Stoppers board, and you guys vote on how to divvy up this reward money.
I'm one of the people that's from the law enforcement that's as an advisor on the board. I'm not part of the board necessarily in a voting capacity, but they are all civilians from around the city. They all have different jobs that are not in all law enforcement. And basically we sit down, we talk about the cases that we've cleared in the last month. We recommend that these are being given rewards in some fashion. They hear what the cases are and recommend the reward amounts, and basically facilitate the whole program in order to raise the money for those rewards, keep that program alive, keep us advertising it, all the stuff you need to do to have a successful program for Crime Stoppers in our area.
Awesome. All right, so again, that was case number 1. Again, that was at the De Leon's on 12th and South Street back in mid-March. The bank bag went missing. If you know anything, contact, LPD or Crime Stoppers. Our second case, one of my least favorite crimes, I think.
Yeah.
And it involves identity fraud.
Yes.
Kind of walk us through what this individual here that we see on screen.
So this lady, we are definitely looking for any information we can get on her because First State Bank at 27th and Granger Parkway had her come in, and she basically said she needed to withdraw several thousands of dollars on 2 separate transactions. Told the bank employee she needed it to pay contractors for her rental properties. Basically kind of gave a pretty good story. She did know all the information about the victim and was using a fake passport, we believe, in this case. So we're not too sure how she obtained all of this information on our victims yet. That's part of the investigation. We're hoping somebody can help us tie some of those pieces together. So then she ends up going to the First State branch near 48th and Old Cheney. However, the previous bank had called over and said, hey, we had this lady in here. Something's real suspicious. And just as they were calling, here she is in the bank. Again, she's trying to get several thousands of dollars out of this same victim's accounts. So she was diverted from that, but we weren't able to catch her in time. We just don't really know anything about her. Coincidentally, it looks like we may have had another couple of cases in Lincoln that same day from a couple other victims. So it's not a singular event. This is multiple events in Lincoln that happened with this female. So we're just pretty much at a loss. We've tried just about every forensic ability we've had to try to track her down. Obviously, anything we can do within the department, it just hasn't worked. We are just looking for a good tip on her.
Yeah, something.
Maybe somebody saw her in town. Maybe she's staying at a hotel. Somebody can give us information about where she was staying that time. Again, that was March 29th, so it's been about a half a month or so. Maybe, I guess we're getting close to a month.
Almost.
So maybe somebody knows her, saw her in the community. Maybe somebody's a friend with her and she came to visit them during that time, or she lives in Lincoln. We're just really kind of at a dead end on this case, and obviously this is a pretty significant amount of money that she was able to get away with. Probably not her first time doing this, so we would definitely like to track her down.
Yeah, almost $15,000.
Yes. Yep.
And again, the individual that has had their identity stolen is now has to deal with everything that goes with making sure everything's locked up and buttoned up. And so we definitely want to find this individual. Looks like kind of maybe red hair or something.
Yeah, it's kind of it looks like it might be dyed. Not too sure. Darker brown with some reddish tint to it of some sort, maybe. Not sure if it's a dye or not, but it just looked like it could be kind of a dye job on that hair. So we're just need somebody to give us a good tip on this case so we can clear it, because this is a significant amount she got away with.
Yeah, and again, it can be you may think it's an insignificant tip, but even a small piece of information might go a long way. So, and again, if you know anything, if you think you know anything, again, all the numbers that Jared's already talked about here right on the screen, contacting Lincoln Police, an anonymous tip at 475-3600, online at LincolnCrimeStoppers.com, or again, like Jared likes best, the P3 app, where you can have a little bit of a conversation between you and law enforcement about your tip if they do have some follow-up questions. So what are the potential charges for both of these cases that we would be looking at?
So the first one I think is still going to be a misdemeanor, that larceny. However, this identity fraud is probably going to be a pretty significant felony. And so she's looking at obviously time in jail.
Yeah, and I would say with the fact that she had a good story, she's got the social security number, all the numbers. Probably not a first-time offender, I would guess.
Yeah, and if we find out there's more to it, obviously those can be lumped together, creating an even larger felony. So she might be looking at some significant fines and time in jail. So.
All right. Well, hopefully we get some tips on both of these cases. Again, Jared, you mentioned it, but you can always go to LincolnCrimeStoppers.com. And again, this is what I have punched up here. Actually, you can see the two cases that we just got done talking about at the very, very top. But again, there's plenty of other cases in here that you can go through. And again, I always like to point out the name. Someone decided to name it Shot, Shot, Shots, Everybody, which, from the song.
I think you have to sing it appropriately.
I will not do it. If this is being recorded and it is also live. Where a couple gentlemen stole some shooters from a West A Casey's.
Yep.
But again, lots of stuff in here. Again, we need tips on all of these cases. So again, just a good place to go and kind of peruse and kind of,
And last year I think we posted over 800 cases. That's what? Couple a day minimum.
Yeah.
So it's constantly changing. If you went there yesterday, it's probably different today. So definitely make that part of your lunch routine at work, or your casual time. Just go check out, see what's on there.
Yeah,
maybe you can help us solve some stuff.
Watch some security camera footage of crimes happening. And
some of them can be entertaining. I'm just saying, they're quite entertaining.
No, they can. Jared, we also wanted to talk about today. We've talked about this in the past. But we also wanted to mention it again today, just because it's been so long since you've been in. But Zoo Dunnett, again, you just mentioned, April's flying by. Zoo Dunnett's going to be here before we know it, early August, and so just a couple months away.
So let's talk about what Zoo Dunnett is real quick, so that people don't know. They can kind of get an idea. So basically, it's kind of a murder mystery.
Yeah.
The cool thing about it is we do it at the Children's Zoo. And so you get to wander around the zoo while you try to solve this mystery. The really neat thing about it is we also have some of our crime scene techs from the police department that are out there, and they're kind of helping you walk through maybe a piece or a clue or how we would work something in this case. They're kind of giving you some insight of how we at the department would work on a case. So I think it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. It's a great fundraiser, and honestly, if we didn't have fundraisers like this for Zoo Dunnett, we wouldn't have a Crime Stopper program that's functioning in the city, because they don't get any funds from city, state, federal, any of those kind of things. I don't even think there's a grant that's funding this program right now. It's just literally money that's coming from Lincoln citizens to help support this program to help solve crime in our city. So if there's something you want to do to really make an impact on Lincoln, this is definitely one of those things that you can make an impact. It can go from just a simple shoplift up to an abuse situation between husband and wife. It could be financial issues, like, say, someone taking advantage of elderly people. It could be animal related, an animal that's being abused. Obviously, homicides and missing people. We're obviously looking for all that stuff. But the cool thing is that it's everything that could possibly happen in the city. Crime Stoppers is willing to work with you to get that information to police.
And for anyone who, like me, back in the day, who watched CSI on CBS, I could do that. Zoo Dunnett is your chance.
It is.
To be Gil Grissom.
The cool thing about Zoo Dunnett is it actually teaches you how it really works and not how CSI TV shows work.
So you mean a DNA sample doesn't come back in like 2 minutes?
Well, you might be lucky, because this is maybe an hour and a half you're working, so it might be a little more on the TV timeline, but in reality, no, that's not true.
Dang it.
So So yeah, so we obviously with Zoo Done It, we are looking for sponsors locally, and so if you are interested in helping us to keep this program alive, to keep the entertainment of the website out there, this is a good way to help support this group. It's a cool event, but obviously we need sponsors to help support it. So we're looking for financial sponsors. Financial sponsors. We're also looking for what we would call a food sponsor, because when you're at the zoo, we have different stations that you go to as you're trying to solve the crime. I mean, no good detective in any capacity ever goes to a crime scene hungry. So you got to get some food while you're working on this. So we're going to try to provide that for everybody as you go through this. So we're obviously looking for some quality Lincoln food that we can hand out to our detectives as they investigate this crime.
Because last year, which was the first Zoo Done It, you had food. There was also some adult beverages available.
We do have adult beverages available as well.
So it's a great evening at the zoo. Again, I was disappointed I couldn't make it last year. Madison Pitch went, though.
She had a good time.
She did not solve the crime.
She didn't solve the crime. No, she was very disappointed that she couldn't solve that crime.
She was. She absolutely was. So again, Jared, if someone wants to donate some money or be a part of sponsoring Zoo Done It, food, money, or otherwise,
right?
What's the best way for them to kind of get in touch with you guys?
So if you go on LincolnCrimeStoppers.com, there's a contact form for the Lincoln Crime Stoppers program. If you go on LincolnCrimeStoppers.org as well, there's a donate button. So any of those ways, there's contact information on there. Honestly, you could call the police department and you could ask for me, and I will get you to the place you need to go. So plenty of ways to do it. Just kind of reach out to us in any way. So
all right, cool. We went over a lot today.
We did.
You need to reschedule those trainings so we can have you in the studio more often, so we don't have to go so long.
That's true. That's true.
Anything else you wanted to make sure got slipped in today?
No, I think we're doing pretty good with all those. Get
right.
some tips on those. I'd be really happy.
All right. Let's make Jared happy, and let's get some tips. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, for watching as always. Jared, appreciate your time as always. We'll be back again next week with Lancaster County Sheriff's Office and the Lancaster Lookout, looking for some of the most wanted individuals in Lancaster County. Haven't seen your face pop up on there yet, Jared.
I'm trying to stay off it. I'm trying my best.
Stay off the radar. All right. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, watching as always. Again, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of your latest news, weather, and sports.